All right, well, the All-Star game is behind us, the All-Star break coming to a close, and now, of course, we're thinking about who's going to take home some hardware. So here are the favorites to win NBA awards, according to our partners over at Caesars. The Joker, favored to win MVP at -275. Sixth Man of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. Coach of the Year, Joe Mazzulla. And then a heavy favorite for Rookie of the Year, the Magic's Paolo Banchero. Rip, we're going to start and get some of your picks if the season ended right now, starting with MVP. Jokic claimed this title the last 2 years in a row. You just saw it there. He's the favorite again. Do you think Joker is going to three-peat it, or do you want him to three-peat it? Is that your MVP, or does it go to somebody else?
As much as I want to pick somebody else, I mean, when you go back in the day, when you looked at Michael Jordan's career, he could have been MVP every year that he stepped on the basketball court. But when you look at the Joker stats, I mean, this guy is a five-man averaging a triple-double. I read some crazy stat where he only had under 5 games this year where he shot under 50% from the field. That's insane. That's crazy to me, just knowing that night in, night out, teams are going to be scouting to control you, to stop you. They understand who he is. He's not super athletic out on the floor. He makes all the right plays. He gets his teams involved. His plus minus is absolutely insane when he's on the court versus when he's off the court. I mean, this guy has been incredible for the Denver Nuggets. Hopefully that him and his team can step it up when the playoffs start.
Okay, no voter fatigue from Rip when it comes to the MVP. All right, talking about Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, he's won it 3 times. Rip, who you got as of right now?
I'm going with Jaren Jackson. I mean, I'm a defensive-minded player. Came from an era of basketball when defense wins championships, and you could kind of see that at the All-Star game when Giannis and LeBron was making their picks. The best defensive guy doesn't go first in the All-Star game. It's all about scoring buckets. But he's the guy that really helps this Memphis Grizzlies team out on the defensive end. He's the anchor. He's the guy that plays the security system for the guys to be able to press up on their man. Averaging 3.3 blocks a game. He's averaging 4.3 blocks in home games. This guy is all over the place. He doesn't get a whole lot of credit for what he does on the floor, but I just think that this year he's having an outstanding year, especially protecting the paint and really anchoring this Memphis Grizzlies defense.
All right, Rip, this next one I'm excited to talk to you about. Sixth Man of the Year. Caesars, they have the Celtics, Malcolm Brogdon, as the favorite as of right now at -200. Your Sixth Man of the Year as of right now, some people might find it a little bit shocking.
Yeah, I'm going with Russell Westbrook. I mean, you gotta give Russ some love. I mean, Russ was one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, this guy, regardless of what the situation is, when he comes out on the floor, he's going to give it his all. I mean, still averaging close to 16 points a game, averaging more than 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. This guy right here, people don't understand when you're a superstar player and they tell you that you got to come off the bench. That is a very difficult task. Most guys might put their head down. Most guys might pout. Most guys might even quit on their teammates. But Russ still came out there and gave his all. I mean, the guy still plays incredible, still plays aggressive on the floor, still getting to the basket, still making plays for his teammates. Only started 2 games this season. So if I had to pick a guy, I'm giving my man Russell Westbrook some love.
All right, Rip is a Russ stan. We know that now here on HQ. Most improved player. We got a couple of guys that are in the race for most improved player award, entering the All-Star break. Markkanen, and then we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander among those in the conversation. Rip, who is the most improved for you?
I'm going with Shai. I mean, did you see his mink coat that he wore in the All-Star game?
Oh, who didn't?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he get an A+ for swag by me, especially playing in Detroit with all the mink coats out there. But Shai has been great. I mean, averaging 30 points a game this season. Been very efficient. Career highs in shooting percentage, shooting over 50% from the field. He's averaging 30, which is almost a 5-point increase from last year, and he's still shooting the same amount of shots on the floor. So he's not out there chasing shots on the basketball court. I just feel as though that OKC got their franchise guy. I think coming into the season, we knew that he had the potential to be an all-star, but we didn't know if he was going to be a franchise guy, a guy that you can build around. So he's been having an incredible year. I got him as my most improved player.
SGA most improved, also maybe most fashionable. Now talking about coach of the year. The contenders for coach of the year, there's some few candidates who are relatively new to the scene. Joe Mazzulla, Jacques Vaughn among those. Rip, who is the coach of the year for you if the season ends today?
I'm going with Joe Mazzulla, like you said. I mean, it's a very difficult task to come in and take over a ball club that just went to the NBA Finals the year before and keep that engine running. And to be 34 years old. I mean, Al Horford, who's a veteran on that team, is 36. He's 2 years older than him. So when he came into this on this team, I mean, when he started being the head coach of this team, he demanded respect in the locker room. He understood how to talk to the players. Your best player, Jason Tatum, is playing at an all-time high, playing great. Another guy that can win that MVP award. But that's a tough task for any coach to come in and get the respect of the locker room and keep the engine running. So I just believe that he's done an excellent job on both ends of the floor. Defensively, this team is still top 5 in the NBA. But if I had to pick a guy, I'm going with him.
All right, and finally, we're going to talk about Rookie of the Year, Orlando Magic rookie and #1 overall draft pick, Paolo Banchero, a heavy favorite to win Rookie of the Year according to Caesars at -1,000. Hard to bet against that, but Rip, do you agree, or are you going with somebody else for Rookie of the Year?
I'm going with Paolo. I mean, if I had an extra couple dollars, I'm betting the house on him. I mean, like you said, he is the favorite. I don't think anybody else is going to give him any type of competition for the award. He's been great all season long. I got a chance to talk to Mike Miller, especially before the NBA draft, and he was telling me how great he was. He's just not a physical specimen. He's not just an athletic kid. He makes plays. I mean, Orlando Magic does a good job of really putting the ball in his hands. Does a good job of playing that point forward position. Still has to work on his shot a little bit, but I don't think there's a guy in the league that's going to beat him out for Rookie of the Year right now.
All right, that is Rip Hamilton joining us here on CBS Sports HQ, giving us his midseason NBA awards and breaking down the All-Star game. Thank you so much, Rip. We appreciate it. Here are some of his awards. If the season ended today, he's got Joker as the MVP, Russell Westbrook as his 6th Man of the Year, Joe Mazzulla for the Coach of the Year, and Paolo Banchero for the Rookie of the Year.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.